Hello and what's going on, you guys? Hyperion-Blue-GT is here. It's time to get ready to take on for a speed trip in the live summit event in the Crew 2. It's week number 7 and we are going in to be taking place in the Midwest of the United States of America. We'll be located around in the Missouri city of St. Louis. And also to be included to be taking part in Stage 7 of the US Speed Tour East from St. Louis to Detroit. We'll be taking on towards the final week. We'll be reached back over to be at New York City to be in the East Coast. So I bet that we might have a good preparations before we will be ready to roll. As you may ever enjoy watching the video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and check out some more videos if you like. Feel free to enjoy it anytime you want for the entertainment. Now it's time to get ready to start the live summit event and let's begin. Okay viewers, looks like this is going to be a pretty good cover on Speedtrip featuring the Cadillac Cyclone XP74 concept. Will be featured to be in the event bundle by 20% discount in about over 1.3 million. So let's take a good look at these three rides. We'll be giving a good presentation showcase that we might be eligible to be participate. So we have a very good street race discipline will be suitable for having a 350 horsepower and a top speed of 109 miles per hour. It is also to be as a late 50s model to be suitable as a concept car. But I cannot believe it. This one is so awesome to have that nice Cadillac vehicle that I never seen it before. White wall tires and giving a good chassis style that might be giving a good retro futuristic style to see it. But I bet you guys have already got this one to be added to the first part of the collection. Next up, we have the Vector 340R 2018 to be in the Powerboat discipline in the horsepower of 2200 and a top speed of 136 miles per hour. Collaborating with Jaguar that we might give a good shared brand to be used for this boat to be introduced to be in the pro racing trial. So this one has already checked to be added in onto your collection, but this one is very good to be competing with a DCP M31 wide body. And last but not least, the Alpha Grand Prix edition of the KTM Expo R. But it doesn't show the power and the top speed might give a good guess. But it could be possible to be installed the part that will might give a good interesting performance guess to see it. But this one might have a fully upgraded version to this ride that we might taking on with some Alpha Grand Prix race cars like the Formula 1 vehicles. And also fictional car brands from Proto is going to be joining in as well. But this one is going to be quite good to be suited to be used on the hard racing compound tires to be as a good slick asphalt. But it looks very good to have a two-seaters. It could probably have to go faster that we might give some full parts to be on the Legendary. Alright, looks like preparations are now going underway and 3 cars will be purchased to be added in to my collection. Bundle purchase, and here we go, and let's go in to compete onto the speed trip. I cannot believe it. I just barely climbing up onto the Platinum to get that WOPS edition of the Porsche Cayman GT4 along with the yellow YMY rally tire is going to be quite doing good to have 4 rewards all at once. So yes, looks like I've been working so hard to get this ride for free to be good to be as a most valuable collection. Alright, so looks like this is going to be having 4 different set of rewards will be going in as usual. And that means for only 1 day left until we're about to be ready to move on for taking on for the next event will be exclusive to be in Detroit to take part in Motor City. 9 events and that we might have some different disciplines will be settled in folks. So we gotta have to go in for having 3 skills to be entered in we'll be taking on in the St. Louis Speed Trap. But it could be quite possible to be recommended to be using with a drag race or an Alpha Grand Prix to be eligible use on the Motor Pass events. We'll be taking part in challenges. So it is very good to see some new set of challenges for only every week. Now, that one might give a good perfect starting position out there and
waiting for you to give it some kind of attention.
I'll have to ignore that because I'm just going to have to get a little bit warmed up. Don't mind it, folks.
Yeah, I know. Okay, well, shut up.
Alright, so, well, sorry for the interruption. Just gonna have to go over onto that starting position right here and grab onto the filters to be on the drag race. I know it is going to be a little bit embarrassing complications to give some important heads up notice. Alright, just gonna have to grab my C7 Dragster Corvette, will be at the ready. Just gonna set them up and be on the burn. Hold it and wait until it's about to be taking a good position to hit the green. Alright, let's go. Alright, looks like this is going to be giving a perfect time. 356 miles per hour by having a perfect speed trap run to take the head start. That's 1 down, 8 more to go. 1 common part to be received as a small reward. But it was a-okay to have a nice 100,000 points to be well earned to be achieved. Now it goes on to take the Solemn to go up the road to be located at the wind power plant station. That one might give the best ways. We'll have to switch over to have the best rally raid vehicle to be used with the Jeep Moab Quicksand concept. But anyway, I've been swapping out different parts to be giving some organizing category that will might give a good bonus affixes whenever it comes in to be on the legendary loot part. Okay, that's not it. Should probably have to be on the rally raid. Take a good check on the performance. Okay, the Stormbreaker should be quite very good and useful on the Proto Buggy that we might have the exchange over to be at the Jeep Moab Quicksand concept will be switched back in. Alright, let's go in and turn the engine on to be prepared. So I have to make sure that 1 player will be entered in onto the gate. Because I'm just going to have to do a lineup, we'll have to do much patience. Just gonna have to Solemn around the gates. That one might give a good chain reaction. We'll be doing a lot of good bonuses. There you go. Main objective complete. Take a U-turn. U-turns are practically good out there to be in the Solemn. Whenever it comes in to be drive on any places to be used off the road. But it is also to be still under construction. So I have to make sure if I could probably have to take a lot of good motivation that we might pass on over to be in the gates. Alright, so it looks like first attempt is giving a little bit time over. 16,458 points. Let's see the outcome. Well, it was doing a-okay. Finally racking up onto the 100,000 points to be getting a little bit over to be added up by 50,000. This one is going to be having a job well done for the second skill. Now goes on to skill number 3, Mississippi to be in the Solemn to be on the Powerboat discipline. And that means that we might give the best recommendation that we might have to use the Vector 340R that we might be quite giving a good suitable to be in a segment. I know this is going to be quite doing good to have a good look at the interior, so I should probably have to stick on for the skills. That one might give a good practical ways to do a lot of practice. Now here's the Powerboat, taking a good peek look on the performance, so it's all set and ready to set sail. Now this one might have to switch up to a different view. That one might give a good slightly easy ways will go on. Okay, minor setback. I know this is going to be quite giving a little bit obvious because I've been practicing to use on the hood cam. Kind of say that the handling is very good. That one might be quite getting a good way to compete with strong powerboats. That should do the trick. Now, it is going to be very harder whenever you get a little bit more communication onto the steering. But it looked very good to have a nice full straight. But the problem is, taking a little bit turns when having a little bit pulled over might be having a little bit trouble timing. somehow different power boats that might give a good characteristics, that might give a good ways to represent its own kind. And that's how what happens, that the outcome of the performance that we might have to switch over to a different power boat. Okay, now let's just gonna have to go over to take on in attempt number 2. Gonna have to make sure if I could probably have to switch over to have some exchange parts onto the DCB M31 wide body. That will might give the only best recommendation. So it's just gonna have to use this boat and set sail onto the river, so just gonna have to wait for only one player to enter the gate. There we go. Now just gonna have to cruise around onto the gates. It's very hard to steer, but I bet it could probably have to do much flying. Okay, that was a close call by taking a single hit. That's just barely ruining the store breaker. Ah, man. Darn it. Well, that barely went off the charts, so 11,504 points, that might give a good activity performance complete. Still almost barely got the chance, so I have to make sure to switch to a different view. There you go. Didn't see that coming. That just barely went on a pause. Hold on. Just gonna have to start over. Okay, DCB M31 wide body and vector didn't go out as planned, so maybe if I could probably have to switch over to use the Voucher 1414 Demon will be switched up to have some exchange parts that will might give the best suitable recommend. This boat is the only yacht that will might give a good best ways will have to achieve a perfect record will be solemn around the gates. So I bet that will might give the best boat that everybody could probably have to use. This one might give a good handling, perfect steering, and some good tight turns that will might give a good ways to be on the waters. And this one is the perfect power boat to be ride on the yacht. Okay, just gonna keep a little bit more steady, careful. There you go. That wasn't so hard, wasn't it? And barely giving a good record set to be achieved, so that means 100,000 points to be reached over by adding up points that will might give a good new record set. 3 skills complete. Now, time to take on 6 events. First up, it's going to be Oldies but Goodies Challenge. It's going to be used for the Cadillac Cyclone XP74 concept. We'll be doing the first part by having a reward to add up by putting up onto 150,000 followers to be as a main reward. So let's go in there and get ready to try it out with this nice, sweet, stylish, retro concept car. We'll be participate to take on with some good classic muscle cars. Oldies but Goodies Challenges was also to be formerly used to be sponsored by Papa John's. So now it comes in to have that good performance level to be exchanged over to be at 280 from other vehicles, but that one might have over 1,088 horsepower will give a good top speed to be at 226 miles per hour, giving a good handling rarity to be on the expert that we might give by exactly 80%. Time to get ready to go old school and take on for having a nice race to be in St. Louis.
3.
This one is a very good classic style vehicle that might give a good headlights to be turned on. So let's do this.
Go, go, go!
Oh yes, now this is what I'm talking about. This one is a perfect style by having a good performance that will might give a good extra nitro boost that we might have to overtake with some several concept cars. So it looks like Lisa is passing me to be in the lead. Now it goes on over to take the next turn. Going straight to the afternoon and leaving towards the Kansas sunflower fields. So I bet I could probably have to take a good look at the interior. It looks very good, classic, like a 1950s to be proceed over onto the 1960s. But it looks very good. I hope everybody could probably have the ride with this good concept car that could probably have a lot of good style without any kinds of exterior parts. Also, it is also to be deemed as a concept car, of course, that will might give a different set of rims will be needed up and for putting up with some different colors of the interior. Luckily, that one is going to be quite giving a good retro style to be giving a nice race to be driving around onto the road. Gonna hit the nitro boost to be going straight. Pass by to the checkpoint. Oh man, looks like... Ah, man. I should probably have to do that early braking point soon. This one is very good luck charm. Alright, checkpoint's clear. Just gonna have to move on to take the next turn, and here comes the right turn by the street. Goes back onto the road. 1.9 seconds. It looks very good to have a nice, wonderful trip. But I may never heard about this car because this one is very good and classic to be used to be featured as a showcase to be on the car show. But luckily, that handling might be giving a good performance that might have some excellent speed to be applied with some parts, even the nitro chemist that might give a good extra boost. So right now, just gonna have to take a lot of main focus to be reached over onto the sprint race to be at 95% to be in the finish line. So here it comes, final stretch. Successful, 150,000 followers earned to be received as the first reward. Now let's see for the activity performance. Well, maybe that one might have to go again for attempt number 2. Just like I've been using with the Lamborghini Gallardo Superleggera, that one might give a good speed performance to be in the all-wheel drive. So let's try again. Racing with the muscle cars is going to be quite taking a good opportunity, just like using the Chevrolet Camaro C28 in the 1970s model. So let's try again. This time, taking a faster pace, that might give a good moment to have a full segment to be needed.
I'm sending happy winning thoughts.
Look out, muscle cars. First place for the classic concept car is coming in. Gonna have to take some time and give a full recharge on the nitro. Slow it in. Make that good clean turn. Pack it up with an extra boost that might give a good evasion for having an increased distance. Now coming back on to the Kansas sunflower fields. Way to keep things up onto the handling. But I bet this car might have a lot of training to do. But it could probably do a lot of good moments out there to be raced. Checkpoint moved on and moved to the next one. Alright, in you go. Gonna have to take that quarter-mile hill. We'll be going faster. And it's hit the nitro and pass by over onto the checkpoint to use as an early braking point. That's more like it. Perfection, giving a good retro style achieve. Okay, going faster. Now it's just gonna have to take the downhill. We'll be giving a little bit steep. So I'm so glad that having this summit event will be taking place in the Midwest of the United States of America. Exploring around in Mississippi, around in St. Louis is going to be giving the most possible interest that we might have to take on for the river. I'll make sure if I could probably have to compete later on to be in the Powerboat discipline events, that one might give an excellent list. Will be settled in to be on the Wiki fandom, will be going organized by the books. Just gonna have to take a little bit cooldown time whenever it's gonna be reached up by over 50% on the nitro. 10% remaining. Gonna have to do this, folks. This concept car will be taking home on the podium. Now that's concept car racing for the street race. 2 minutes and 43 seconds by the record for having an activity performance. Gives a little bit halfway there, but almost at least. But it could probably might have some affixed parts that we might get organized to be switched over to do the exchange. Well, maybe this one might have to be checklist complete. Moving on to take on the Powerboat in Mississippi for the Vector 340R is about to be ready to take on for the large river. And it goes on for having different rewards to be suitable to be on the legendary loot parts. That might give a good extra good news to be needed. We all might have some good loot parts to be collected to have some good different icons of affixes, plus a bonus that we might give a good exact chances by only 25%. So just gonna have to sit back and wait until the Vector 340R is now ready to roll to have that performance level to be suitable. But I'll make sure I'll have to come right back in to be putting up with a new clip. Okay, there you go. Now, that one might give the adjusted performance to be at 2700 horsepower in the top speed of 192 miles per hour to be on the simple handling is going to be going regularly for the V40R. Now, it's time to get ready to go in to participate for having a starting grid for only 4 powerboats will be racing around on the rivers of Mississippi. So let's do this.
I'll stop talking so you can start driving.
There you go, right up the start to be in first place. Just gonna have to stay focused over to be on the same route, just as always, folks. But make sure the possibilities that we might have to stay on over to be in the water. Gonna keep it up. Just gonna have to take a cooldown time on the nitro. We'll be taking a standby. Okay, looks like this is going to be doing great. Just sail around and pass through onto the checkpoints to be passed by over onto the freighter boats. Okay, no time to take a little bit shortcut. Now it goes in to take that jump and goes slow down onto the rivers. Gonna have to dodge through onto the buoys. Perfection. Now, just gonna have to pass by to the next checkpoint. We're almost there, folks. 75% on the progression, only 25 to go. That was pretty so close. Here comes the final stretch. Gonna have to kick it up onto the nitro. We'll be taking a photo finish. That's more like it. Legendary bundle earned and having a record set to be achieved. So let's see the activity performance, and there you go. 120,000 points to be received to be a new record. That's more like it to have 7 legendary parts to be in a different category. But I am so pretty good at this one, folks. Nitro Chemist is the best opportunity will be used to be in the live summit. So next up, going far away from the Midwest in the US, is going to be on the Jetsprint discipline to be in the Maine Highland caves. But it is also to be as the most important event to be needed as a temporarily. Because Jetsprint is going to be quite very neat to be as well to see it, folks, but it might be doing well out there to be as part of the outside areas of the Midwest. So I have 3 Jetsprints as I have 2 of them to be purchased. Luckily, if I could probably have to keep using the Leopard, we'll be giving a good exact performance to be equipped with some 7 types of legendary loot parts since I've been working so hard to be participate in the time trial to be exclusive to be in the Jetsprint. So I'll be using with a Proto Leopard 2017, we'll be giving a good fine performance level to be in the maximum. So let's see how I could probably have to do my best for beating the time with a good, excellent, extended amount to be on the Nitro. Let's beat the time by only 2 minutes and 47 seconds.
You'll make awesome time, I know it.
Now, this is going to get a lot of different ways out there, folks. Just going to have to stay a good standby to have that 50% amount of nitro whenever I have to keep using it. Okay, gonna have to go a little bit grinding on the ground time. Very good. Now, just gonna have to stay swift around in the Jetsprint. We'll be going in to be in the shallow waters. Excellent turn, but always being basic. Just gonna have to do some bit of work. Now, lap number 1 clear. Time to go faster in lap number 2 as the final lap. And here comes the jump. Aim towards the checkpoint. That will might give a good focusing approach. It's very good to have a ground time whenever it comes in to splash in to be getting a little bit closer to be on the ground surface. But eventually, that one might have to take one time. We'll be giving a little bit single use to be entered in onto this location for this event. But that one might give a good, perfect, easy step. We'll have to take some good, fine activity performance. And there you go. Finish line in the nick of time. 1 minute and 45.609 seconds. Give some activity performance and there you go. Another 100,000 points to be well achieved. Finally reaching up on Icon 1045 and that one might give that Jetsprint event to be checklist complete. So right now it's going to be quite ticking on for only 3 more to go in the event. So I could probably have to go flying around in the air. We'll be located in Jersey City. Located around in the east coast of New York City. That one might give the event exception number 2 to be exclusive. So I bet I could probably have to go over to have a nice perfect livery design I've been created for having a test run to be participate. Luckily, a UDRS Insport Tech that one might give the perfect answer that I'll be willing to select. So just gonna have to sit back and wait until the planes will be ready to load as a presentation showcase that we might give the perfect choose. Harman Rocket HR3, I'm about to choose you and be ready for takeoff. So I bet that we might give the perfect practice. We'll be ready to go in to have a nice run out there. So let's see how the performance that we might give the best efficiency that we might give the good increased performance.
Got this.
Just gonna have to stay on the main flying position to be on the formation. Checkpoint clear and do some short amount of nitro refill that will might give some additional percentage. That should do the trick. Checkpoint clear, switch to a different formation. Now, if I could probably have to spin around like this, that one might give a good tricky skill. Perfection. Now goes on to have that loop over. flying back in lap number 1 towards lap number 2. Just the real deal, barely pays off by having a good perfection. Going extreme when flying in the air, and that will might give the best view out there. Will be proceed over to go right back onto New York until stage 8 will be arrived soon by next week. Only on Wednesdays, of course. Successful skills. Just gonna have to spin again to do a half roll. Okay, that was a pretty close call. And fly towards the finish line, and there you go. 1 minute and 19.939 seconds. Going faster to be as a flying ace pilot. That one might give a good activity performance to give a thumbs up by 100% complete. Good work, practice. Thank you for the important advice, and I really enjoy flying around in the skies. Alright, so looks like 2 more to go, and we have 2 events will be exclusive on Motorflix in the US Speed Tour East. Mississippi Special is going to be on the street race discipline, so I hope I could probably have to choose the best ride if I could probably have to get settled in by the recommend. Hopefully, I could probably have to choose any kinds of Corvette vehicles, including any other car brands whenever I want to pick. Because this cover, that one might give an excellent stopping point to be at Mississippi after the Rally Raid Special on from Pikes Peak. Okay, so now just gonna have to choose the perfect ride if I could probably have to go with a retro style to be as a muscle car. So luckily, I'm about to have that 1963 Corvette C2 will be selected to be giving a good style to have a UDRS Insportec livery. But I bet the Gran Turismo windshield cover that will might give a good representation to be part in GT Sport. That will might give a good plus to be putting in onto the livery editor in GT Sport. Only in the Crew 2 that I just made it myself before taking on for a test run challenge to be at Detroit. So let's get ready to kick things off in a time attack at Route 66, and let's get ready to roll.
US Speed Tour East, St. Louis, Missouri. Zipping around Mound City, the gateway to the West.
Okay, here I come. So looks like this time it's going to be a challenge for myself, folks. If I could probably have to beat my time, that one might give a good possibility chance we'll be racking up by over 100,000 points. So this one is going to be a similar sprint race what we've done here for having a regular street race discipline. Just going to have to make sure to do your best by staying on over to be on the road surface of the track. Just going to have to make sure to go over onto the fields when you're in the streets. So what do you guys think about my livery? It was very good to have a nice blue color, to have a nice classic variant that will might give a good number 2 classic onto the C2 Corvette Stingray. Only in the split window version it is going to be quite giving a good vintage style to have a nice white wall tires to be giving a good almost exact match just like the original from GT Sport. Now just going to have to stay focused. Gonna have to stay over to be in the lead by having a time record set to be well achieved. Now the nitro is going to be good to go. That's more like it. Just going to have to keep boosting around and take some braking point while you can. Okay, stay calm. Just going to have to keep a good mobility that we might have a good handling control when using a muscle car. Okay, that's more like it. Just keep up the pace. That one might give a new record set to be well approved. 2 seconds behind. Still got this in the bag, folks. Still got this by having a good clear run. Halfway there, pass by, and now continue on in 65% in the progression. Boost them up, checkpoint clear, and go past underneath the bridge to be on the road. Here it comes. Now it's about to be ready to go back in onto the main road. %20 to go on the progression left, folks. We're almost there to reach up onto the finish line. Okay, keep a little bit more tight, careful. This corner on the road is going to be very tricky. Pass by that turn at the right, and here I come.
Past the checkpoint they go. Close to finishing. Who will leave their mark?
And successful. 3 minutes and 16.435 seconds. Excellent job, well done for having my C2 Corvette to be climbing up onto the top record to be nearby. 98,000 points. That should probably have a good car effort that we might go higher onto the main skill. So looks like this is it, folks. One more event to go, and it's about to be ready to participate in Stage 7 of the US Speed Tour East from St. Louis to Detroit by using the Alpha Grand Prix discipline of the KTM Expo R. So I really hope that we might give a good, excellent performance guest to be installed by having 7 categories to be equipped with some legendary loop parts to be given an added chance to be using with a Nitro Chemist. So I bet it is going to be turns out to become as incredible. But take a good look, folks. Performance level at 340 to be at the power in 1100 horsepower in the top speed of 264 miles per hour. Wow! This Austrian sports car is about to be ready to go faster to take part in a time trial will be reached up on to point A to point B. So let's choose this Alpha Grand Prix of the Expo R. We'll be ready to go by the starting grid. So let's see how faster can I go.
Will the competitors do good in US Speed Tour East Stage number 7? Driving from St. Louis, Missouri to Detroit, Michigan.
So the performance of the KTM Expo R might have a shared characteristics like any other Alpha Grand Prix race cars that might give a good perfect chance to go faster. But it was so incredible to see how fast that Expo R can go. Brilliant, and taking a good faster advantage will be taking on with some race cars to be taking part in pro racing. This one is very good to be introduced for this update, folks. Everybody could probably have to go faster by using this car. It was built for speed and built for faster. We'll be taking on with some open-wheeler vehicles. But it is also as a 2016 model of the KTM Expo R that might have the shared differences from the street race to an Alpha Grand Prix to be suitable to be on the track. But luckily, it is also as a 2-seater vehicle that might give a good GT cars that might give a good similarities to have a track-only vehicle. But luckily, the racing compound tires might give a good suitable will be staying around onto the surface of the asphalt. Alright, looks like just gonna have to stay on the main routes. Inside cornering, whenever if I can see an apex, that one might give the main cue. Past the checkpoint I go and go straight up onto the main road. There you go. Gonna have to cross by in and going upward towards the downward. Now looks like we're at Lower Peninsula in Detroit, part of Michigan, but not yet. Closer, folks. Just gonna have to keep going faster by the halfway points. Gonna have to ace that course. I'm pretty sure of it. Okay, looks like 43 seconds far behind from the example opponents. Still barely got a lot of good efforts moments out there to be suitable to be as a touring car discipline. Now continue on to be in the Midwest in the Lower Peninsula. Take that checkpoint and go straight towards enter the bridge. And now we are entered in onto the Avenue Road. Just gonna have to get a little bit more extra speed to get closer in, folks. That one might give a one-way ticket towards Detroit. And here we are, Motor City. We're about to get closer onto the finish line because this one is gonna get much longer. And here comes downtown. Gonna take one last checkpoint.
Coming up to Detroit, famous for IndyCar and street races. Who will become master of Motown Records?
Oh yes, looks like Detroit's rusher finally achieved by 4 minutes and 42 seconds. Now that's a special stage for an Alpha Grand Prix discipline of the KTM Expo R. Incredible. New record set to be well achieved, and it's going to be a job well done out there that I just did a lot of good run. So looks like I have finally made it onto the Platinum in the nick of time because this one is going to be doing a great job for having a speed trip. We'll be doing a good place to be in the Midwest of the US, around in St. Louis, around in Missouri. So looks like we have finally made it in onto the arrival destination on Detroit, and that means Motor City is coming up for the next Live Summit event. 4 different rewards, including the Chevrolet Camaro RS, is now labeled in to be on the gold reward, and also to be in the drag race discipline to be as exterior parts on the Chevrolet Camaro SS. Luckily, muscle cars is going to be the best heritage in the US. We'll be driving around to be explore some good racing events in Detroit. Luckily, the famed Magnet will be giving some boosted for the hypercar discipline to be needed as a platinum reward. So I bet this is going to get much closer out there to be in Lightfall in September 1st. Hopefully, I'll have to make sure if I could probably have to do some more uploading videos to my channel at any time because it takes a lot of hard work and development whenever if I could probably have to come up with some good strategies on different disciplines on every vehicles to be doing some 3 skills. So it's just going to have to take a good look onto the preview to see which vehicle should be required. Alright, looks like drift discipline for the Ford Mustang GT Fastback and a Chevrolet Camaro SS will be required to be needed as well. Because this is going to be quite doing great out there to have a nice good events to be exclusive to be racing around in Detroit. So I can't wait to be moving forward to be in the final week of the US Speed Tour East. Going back to New York City is going to be the final destination. We'll be going back on to square one. Thank you for tuning in on my video, folks. I hope you enjoy. So make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, bell for notification uploads to be turned on, and the links on the description down below if you really want to see more. You can check it out on Instagram, Deviant Art, GT Planet, and other social media platforms if you really want to follow me. And don't forget to support my main project, Vision Total Drama, the next chapter of the Total Drama fan art to support the community. I'll be seeing you guys next time in the Live Summit event in the Crew 2, and I will see you later in the next video. Keep on racing, stay clean.